It all began with Alex, didn't it? Our story was once a tapestry woven with sunshine and laughter, a melody of shared dreams and whispered promises. Alex was my anchor, my confidant, the person who knew the deepest corners of my soul and still chose to love me fiercely. We built a life together, brick by brick, moment by precious moment. Our apartment hummed with the quiet rhythm of our existence, filled with the scent of coffee in the mornings, the comfort of tangled limbs at night, and the comfortable silence that only two people truly connected can share. I thought we were invincible, a fortress against the world's cynicism, our love an impenetrable shield. There was a time when I truly believed that. I believed it with every fiber of my being. But even the strongest fortresses can develop unseen cracks. Perhaps the foundation was weaker than I imagined, or perhaps the relentless erosion of routine and unspoken needs simply wore it down over time. It wasn't a sudden cataclysm. It was a slow, insidious drift. The laughter grew a little less frequent, the spontaneous touches a little less urgent. Our conversations, once vibrant and endless, became more pragmatic, focused on bills and chores and future plans that felt more like obligations than exciting ventures. I started to feel unseen, unheard, a ghost walking through my own life. It wasn't fair to blame Alex entirely, of course. I recognize that now. We both contributed to the growing chasm between us, each of us retreating into our own quiet corners, nursing silent grievances that festered into resentment. That feeling of being lonely within a relationship, that is a truly bitter pill to swallow. It makes you vulnerable in ways you never thought possible. That vulnerability, that creeping emptiness, created an opening. His name was Liam. He entered my life subtly, a new colleague at work, someone with a quick wit and an easy smile. He was everything Alex wasn't in that moment of my life. Attentive, exciting, seemingly fascinated by every word I uttered. We started with work discussions, innocent enough, then casual coffee breaks, then lunch. He listened when I spoke of my frustrations. He laughed at my jokes. And he made me feel like the most interesting person in the room. He saw me, or at least I thought he did, in a way I felt Alex no longer could. It was a potent combination, a dangerous elixir for a heart that felt starved of attention and novelty. The lines blurred slowly, almost imperceptibly at first. A lingering glance, a hand brushing mine a little too long, a compliment that made my cheeks flush with a warmth I hadn't felt in ages. It was thrilling and terrifying all at once. The first step across the line was tentative, almost accidental, yet utterly deliberate. A late-night work email exchange turned into personal messages, confidences shared under the cloak of digital anonymity. Then came the drinks after work, just one, then another, fueled by a dangerous cocktail of desire and the intoxicating thrill of forbidden secrecy. The first kiss was a maelstrom of guilt and exhilaration, a shocking betrayal that tasted like bitter honey. I justified it to myself with practiced ease. Alex and I were distant, I reasoned. This was just a temporary escape, a fleeting fantasy to reignite something lost within me. It wasn't real, not really. It wouldn't hurt anyone. Oh, the lies we tell ourselves to justify our weaknesses. That night, I returned home to Alex, the scent of another person clinging to my clothes like a shroud, my heart a frantic drumbeat against my ribs. Alex was asleep, oblivious, peaceful. And a part of me, a part I tried to suppress, wished I could be too. From that moment, my life became a meticulously crafted performance, a tightrope walk over a chasm of my own making. Every word, every glance, every hurried text message became a potential tripwire. The lies piled up like bricks, building an insurmountable wall between myself and the truth. Dinner with a friend became dinner with Liam. Late nights at the office became clandestine meetings in dimly lit bars. My phone, once an open book, became a locked vault, a constant source of anxiety, and a repository of damning evidence. The emotional toll was immense. I was perpetually on edge, caught in a swirling vortex of guilt, fear, and a fleeting, hollow excitement that never quite quenched the underlying shame. I watched Alex, so trusting, so loving, and a fresh wave of nausea would wash over me. Every kind gesture, every display of affection from Alex felt like a burning brand of my betrayal. I was living a double life, two separate existences that slowly, inevitably, began to bleed into one another, staining everything they touched. The internal conflict became a relentless tormentor. There were moments, countless moments, when the desire to confess, to purge myself of the suffocating weight of my deceit, was overwhelming. I would rehearse the words in my head, feel the tremor in my voice, imagine Alex's devastated face. The thought of inflicting that pain, of shattering everything we had built, was unbearable. Yet, the thought of continuing the charade, of slowly suffocating under the weight of my own lies, was equally terrifying. I was trapped, a prisoner of my own poor choices. I rationalized it, again and again. It was too late. The damage was done. Confession would only cause more pain. Better to let it die a slow, natural death, I told myself, burying the truth deeper with each passing day. My behavior became erratic, my moods volatile. I was irritable, distant, quick to anger, then quick to apologize, trying to compensate for the emotional infidelity by being overly attentive at times, then withdrawing completely. Alex noticed, of course, the subtle shifts, the guardedness, the absence of my true self. But Alex couldn't quite pinpoint the reason, not yet. The discovery was, as all such discoveries are, an explosion. It wasn't a dramatic confrontation or a tearful confession. It was mundane, brutal, and utterly devastating. A single text message left open on my phone for a fleeting second too long. A message from Liam that simply read, "Missed you today. Thinking of you." Alex saw it. I remember the silence that followed, a silence heavier than any sound I had ever heard. It stretched, agonizingly, until Alex's voice, a raw whisper I barely recognized, cut through the quiet like a shard of ice. "What is this, Jamie?" My carefully constructed world imploded in that instant, crumbling into dust and ashes around me. The blood drained from my face, my heart leaped into my throat, and I felt the dizzying sensation of falling into an abyss. There were no excuses left, no lies that could possibly explain away the undeniable evidence. The truth, in all its ugly clarity, was finally out. The confrontation that followed was a blur of searing pain and profound regret. Alex's eyes, once filled with boundless love and unwavering trust, were now a torrent of hurt, anger, and utter disbelief. The questions came in a torrent, each one a dagger to my soul. How could you? Was any of it real? Who is this person? My answers were pathetic, choked, inadequate. I stammered, I cried, I begged for forgiveness, but the words felt hollow, stripped of all meaning in the face of the monumental betrayal I had inflicted. I saw Alex physically recoil from me, as if my touch was poison. The shame was a physical sensation, a burning fire in my stomach, crawling up my throat. I watched as the person I loved most in this world crumpled before my eyes, their spirit breaking under the weight of my selfish actions. There was no way to fix it. No words, no apologies, no amount of sorrow could undo the irreversible damage I had wrought. That look on Alex's face, that specific blend of agony and disillusionment, will haunt me until my dying day. It was the moment I truly understood the full extent of what I had done, not just to Alex, but to us, to everything we were. The aftermath was a desolate landscape of my own making. Alex left, taking with them not just their belongings, but a piece of my soul that I will never reclaim. The apartment, once a sanctuary, became a tomb of echoing emptiness, each quiet corner a stark reminder of what I had so carelessly destroyed. The laughter was gone, replaced by the deafening silence of my own guilt. The scent of coffee became bitter, the bed a cold, lonely expanse. My friends, those who chose to remain, looked at me with a mixture of pity and judgment. I deserved it all. The consequences were swift and brutal, a harsh retribution for my deceit. Liam, of course, faded quickly from my life, a fleeting distraction that had served its purpose, and then disappeared, leaving behind only a trail of wreckage. The initial thrill, the dangerous excitement, dissolved into a bitter residue of emptiness. It wasn't love with Liam, it was escape, a desperate attempt to fill a void that only I could ever truly address. And in chasing that fleeting illusion, I had sacrificed something infinitely more precious and real. Now I carry the scar of that betrayal. It doesn't fade with time, it merely settles, a permanent reminder of the profound damage I inflicted and the invaluable lesson I learned too late. Infidelity is not just a lapse in judgment. It is a violent act of disrespect, a shattering of trust that cannot be easily mended, if at all. It corrodes not only the relationship, but also the very essence of who you are. The person I was before, naive enough to believe I could hurt someone so deeply without consequence, no longer exists. I am left with the ghost of Alex's love, the echo of what we could have been, and the heavy burden of my own mistakes. If there is one truth I can offer, it is this: the temporary thrill, the fleeting escape, the selfish pursuit of fleeting desire can never compare to the profound, enduring beauty of genuine trust and unwavering loyalty. The cost of betrayal is immeasurable, and the price, I assure you, is paid for a lifetime. Choose wisely, because some wounds, once inflicted, simply never truly heal.